Minneola, Clermont, Minneola. If you are looking to move to any of these two Lake County growing suburban areas, then this video is for you. I'm going to do a quick comparison between these two growing suburban areas. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Orlando Living, and if this is your first time, press that thumbs up button because I bring you community videos all throughout Central Florida. I give you a lot of information so that you can make a decision what part of Central Florida is going to work. We go all the way up to Tampa and Ocala, and if you are looking for that brand new home, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. That's where I bring you 8+ models. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick short comparison between Minneola and Clermont, two of the most sought after Central Florida suburban communities located in Lake County. When you talk about Clermont is about 20 miles to Disney as one of the major landmarks, whereas Minneola is about 25 miles. When you talk about the international airport, you're looking at about 50 minutes to about an hour, and for Minneola it's about an hour to an hour 15 minutes depending upon what time of day you travel to. And these two communities are well within about 5 to 7 miles of each other, so the distance in terms of location, they're not very far from each other. They are growing. Minneola tend to be more tranquil, more quiet, more relaxed community, whereas Clermont is just growing with leap and bound. It's a much bigger city. There's much bigger impact when you talk about other factors such as schools, hospitals, shopping, and dining. Let's get into it and let's talk about other factors of that nature. So one of the aspects to consider when you're looking to relocate in any of the suburban areas is the housing options. And when it comes to the housing options, both for Minneola and Clermont, they used to be small towns, an agricultural town basically. But with all the growth that is coming, mainly so in Clermont and then kind of overflowing into Minneola, there's just so many brand new communities coming up. As a matter of fact, I'm standing right here where Olympus is going to go up. And if you haven't Googled, please go ahead and Google Olympus. There's Wellness Center right adjacent to Olympus. And I'm in a community which is one of the most sought after community in Clermont. On a personal note, I personally built a home myself. I moved from Orlando to Clermont because of all the development that is coming to it. You have all kind of real estate located in both Minneola and in Clermont. Clermont just have a little bit more options, and most of the communities in Clermont would not have a CDD when you compare that to Minneola. If you want to know more about brand new communities, then make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. That's where I bring you 8+ models throughout Central Florida, Orlando, Greater Orlando, Tampa Bay, and now Ocala areas. I do 8+ models, so you'll be able to see over 400 models that I've done so far. It gives you a very good idea what kind of models are coming, kind of a base price. It gives you a good understanding. And on the other hand, when you look at Clermont has more of a variety. You can find your 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 big mansions on the lake, whereas Minneola, it's more about a mixed development. There's a lot of development that is happening. There's a lot of new things that are coming. They have newer communities, and you are actually more scenic than Clermont because at a higher point. You're at the highest point in Minneola when it comes to the sea level, and it has more scenic views. Clermont is not that bad, but it's a matter of choice. And when I'm doing these videos, please understand that they are just my take on it. I've also done the whole video about Minneola and Clermont by itself, talking about specifics for shopping, dining, entertainment, hospital, everything that you need to know. So please search the community tab. You'll be able to find that video to kind of get more deeper into these areas. So when you have one of this, my 5-year-old, and one of this, my 8-year-old, and I call them little creatures, sometimes monsters depending upon how well they behave. As a parent of young kids, there's only so much you could do when it comes to parks. You can only take them so many times to Disney, Universal, Legoland, and whatnot. So what I love about both Minneola and Clermont is that they both have some really nice parks, like recreational parks, all the suburban areas, and which is very typical of Central Florida suburban areas. You have these little parks that you can take the kids, they can do their swing, they can do their whatever kids do, run around and whatnot, and hopefully get tired. But when it comes to Clermont and Minneola, Minneola actually has the Sugarloaf Mountain, which is one of the highest peak in Florida when it comes to the mountain, because this is the only place where you're going to have the hills and up and down Clermont and Minneola. And I'm standing and doing this right outside, or right at the very entrance of the state park, Lake Louisa. So if you are into that outdoor scene, then this would be a great opportunity. You cannot go wrong with Minneola or with Clermont. Clermont is more about lake, more about water. If you're into boating, hiking, kayaking, then Clermont would be better suited. But if you're more into outside, just walking trail, the scenic trail, just more nature and just riding your bike and stuff, then Minneola would be better suited for you. So just take this with a grain of salt, but both of these communities offer a lot of recreational activities all throughout communities. Clermont is a little bit more bigger, as I mentioned before, because of the population and the growth, but both of these communities are seeing a lot of rapid growth, as I mentioned before. So when you have little creatures like this one, this is my 5-year-old, and this year he just started going to the pre-VPK, and then his brother right over here, he is 8 years old and he goes to the 3rd standard. It is super important to know the infrastructure related to schools, because we want to make sure that as parents, we give them the right foundation in terms of the skill set as they kind of get into the education system. So when it comes to the infrastructure, both Clermont and Minneola, they both belong to the Lake County School District. They have some really good schools. You have private charter school, you also have government schools. But in terms of the number of schools, you have more schools in Clermont as compared to Minneola. There's also a lot of construction, as I was talking about that, and I've mentioned this before also. There's so much growth that is happening in the two cities that there's brand new schools coming up. One such school is the school that they just built in hills of Minneola, which is one of the newest communities in Minneola. They also right across from it building infrastructure with healthcare, shopping and dining, but both of them have good infrastructure when it relates to that. Now, I actually did a video about the top schools in Lake County. If it is not released, it will be releasing very soon, so make sure either you comment below and I'll send you a private link to it if the video is not released, and if it is, then make sure to check the school playlist, and that's where you're going to find a lot of information about number of schools, everything. But I've also mentioned that in the independent video that I did for both Minneola and Clermont. Now let's get into the economy of these two growing suburban areas in Lake County. So when you compare the economy of both Clermont and Minneola, they're very small suburban cities in Lake County when you compare that to Orlando or Lakeland or some of the major cities in Central Florida. In terms of Clermont, there's a lot of growth that is happening. There's a lot of opportunities in terms of healthcare, retail, and even industrial sector. But when it comes to Minneola, it's more of a tranquil place. It's more of a quiet, relaxed, like a family suburban area. You're not very far from Clermont, and a lot of people do travel to Clermont and also to Orlando as such, which is the major economic powerhouse that Central Florida has. Now let's get into the other aspects of comparing the two cities. So when it comes to the infrastructure related to healthcare, shopping and dining, at the moment Clermont leads the way because Clermont is more established and there's a lot of growth that is actually just spilling from Clermont to Minneola, and the healthcare infrastructure and shopping and dining is much better in Clermont, which is just about 10 to 15 minutes from Minneola, so it's not very far. However, I'm standing right outside the Advent Health Hospital, a $300 million project that's going to be coming right opposite the hills of Minneola, which is one of the brand new communities. And like I said before, if you are looking for that brand new home, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. We've actually done models of hills of Minneola, which is a brand new community, and they are building this Advent Health Hospital. There's also going to be a city center, a lot of retail and restaurant that is coming. When it comes to your day-to-day mom and pop, Publix, Walmart, Walgreens, they're kind of all scattered throughout, which is pretty similar to all of the suburban areas. I really hope that my videos bring in a lot of value for you. This is a reference kind of giving you some sort of an idea about how life is going to be if you decide to move to Clermont or Minneola. You can't go wrong with any of those two cities. I personally chose Clermont myself. At the end of the day, it really depends upon what works for you and your family. I do hope that you're going to give me that thumbs up and you're going to see my song and dance and everything that now I have to do to get your attention. If you are looking to buy that brand new home, if you are looking to move, finding the right agent is super important. So make sure to check our reviews out. And if you like the comparison between this video, make sure to check out other comparison videos. I have also done a very detailed video about Minneola and Clermont. So make sure to check that out. Until the next video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.